Greetings, fellow citizens of Disneyland. Brickey here with some California restriction predictions. Not the video I want to make, but the video that I feel that I need to make because I've seen other YouTubers, other Disneyland vloggers talking about these weird predictions that Disneyland is somehow going to reopen very soon, and I feel like there's information that goes the exact opposite way. Let's jump into episode 13 of Disneyland Reopening News. We currently just made it to the end of week 2 in a 3-week restriction that led to, at the Disneyland Resort, no outdoor dining, no food consumption anywhere on site, no beverage, no Starbucks. And to me, really what that has done is it's taken out a lot of the leisure and activity of downtown Disney. Now we have one more week left in the current restrictions, which should expire like next Monday or Wednesday. They're kind of throwing around a lot of numbers because right after we got hit with the no outdoor eating, then we also got the stay-at-home order. But my point is this: if falling below 15% is what got us into the situation, when we are now, ta-da, at 0%, how is it going to get lifted? How is it going to get moved anywhere other than stay in the course of right where it's at? So what I'm here to say, and I was trying not to make any of these videos before the holiday season, but then I started seeing a message that was spreading around that I felt was a little bit dangerous for folks' expectations. Where we're at right now, it is my prediction by the end of the week or the beginning of next week, this extension is going to get extended, which means we are stuck in this moment and we're going to be here for a while. But it's no big deal. I mean, it's a huge deal, but we're used to this. We're resilient. Well, at least we should be by this moment. So what does this mean for downtown Disney? It means more of the same, but there's a big factor that's getting ready to change. Sure, there's no dining, there's no food, there's none of that leisure happening right now at downtown Disney, but there has been shopping that has been keeping the resort going. And a lot of that shopping was inspired by the fact that the holidays have been just around the corner. If the resort has been this slow during the holiday shopping season, the biggest shopping season of the year, what is this next phase going to look like without any sort of leisure at the resort? And then several folks don't have that need to go out and buy items they normally wouldn't need, because everybody knows the meaning of Christmas is how much you buy for the people that you kind of care about. And this is all based on the fact that the rules just stay the same. Right? If we fall below 0% ICU, and that is happening, you're seeing people triaged outside of hospitals. They're setting up temporary camps here and there. What if it goes into a deficit of hospital beds? I mean, the restrictions we have now could feel like a walk in the park to what's around the corner, especially because everything that we're feeling right now is due to a spike of COVID post-Thanksgiving. Now, I don't have to tell you, Thanksgiving is the opening act for Christmas, the big headliner of the holiday season. So therefore, the swing after the holidays should be even more severe because for whatever reason, we do not learn from our lessons. So it is possible that we could see downtown Disney maybe take a full pause. We do know that they're going to be closed on Christmas Day, and that in my mind indicates they're somewhat bracing themselves for like, okay, a lot of what's driving the park right now is holiday shopping. Let's let the holiday pass. I mean, who's going to go there to just shop on Christmas Day other than people that have that sweet, sweet gift card and Christmas cash burning a hole in their pocket? And that will relate into sales for, 10, 15 days afterwards. But if January and February and March have historically been the slow, quiet time at the Disneyland Resort, imagine what January will look like with all of these restrictions. And I'm 100% surprised actually that it is still open. I guess I underestimated how many people would be going out and doing their holiday shopping. And I know that people have said, well, maybe they would open up parts of Disneyland to get folks to come out and to keep the shopping going. And maybe that would be the ace up the sleeve once we get past the holidays. Like, oh, now you have to go out because Disneyland is open. I think that this is not a popular opinion, but I think that the state of California and Governor Newsom, who many of you hate, I think that they have done an accurate job of predicting where California was headed. And I think Disney right now would see, okay, opening up the beloved Disneyland to get more people out during what is being labeled and viewed as a very dangerous time in public health. I think that would not be very Disney, and Disney is always aware of the optics that go against their core brand and core values. So as Christmas is getting ready to pass, it's going to be interesting to see what becomes of the resort. But it's also going to be interesting to see because California typically moves in 3-week cycles. We're in week 2 of this 3-week cycle. It is going to get extended. I feel 100% confident in saying that because the numbers, quite frankly, they have not improved. If I was following everything in yesterday's meeting that was telecast on YouTube properly, and those are so not fun to watch, but I watch them because I want to be informed. I want to get the information right from the horse's mouth and pass it over to you. They're talking about somewhere January 25th, maybe would be where everything else would go. Maybe a little bit sooner, maybe a little bit after that. They were sort of vague, but that seems to be, as if I was following the math, kind of where we're at. So that would mean that January would stay the same, or will they try to uptick the restrictions as we see a holiday fallout? I mean, who knows? They were very, very vague about this. They did indicate, though, that by the end of this week or early next week would be when they would make the announcement of when the next roll of restrictions come out and what their expiration date may be. It's all a moving target. They were vague because they don't even know yet. They have to look at the numbers. But I'm here to let you know it's coming emotionally, mentally. Be prepared. So with no food or drink at the resort, be prepared to stay in ghost town mode for quite a while. And also with that absence of holiday shopping, it's going to be a great time for photographers. Because as we saw with this restriction that started on December 7th, it drastically changed the customer landscape, the guest landscape of the Disneyland Resort, literally just pulling out, more than 3/4 of the audience, of the attendance that Disney was getting on a day in, day out basis. Now the brand new open areas of DCA, those areas have been shortened. You now have less of a footprint and there's nobody watching the gate at DCA. You can come in, you can come out. There's no more head count because they just know, hey, we're not hitting capacity anytime soon here. And it's funny that this video series that I kicked off back in September, because I felt like there was a lot of people saying the park's going to open any day now, the park's going to open any day now. And as somebody who was watching the news, watching all the press conferences, was saying, no, it's not. If it doesn't get open by October, it's not going to open until the spring. So I started this video series to sort of give a level-headed, cool-headed approach of this is where everything is headed. These are where your expectations should be. Because if you manage your expectations, then you can manage your emotions, and then this whole thing feels less painful. But it's funny to me that what started out as a series talking about actually opening up Disneyland Resort, the attractions, the characters, the nighttime shows, has become a battle on just trying to keep open the Disneyland Resort for shopping. Right? That is how far we have gone in just these 13 episodes going back to September. We thought we were fighting to open up the park. Now we're fighting just to keep the shopping open. And when I say fighting, I'm not talking about an actual fight. Like, I'm not fighting to keep it open. If they say tomorrow it needs to be closed, it needs to be closed. I'm talking about fighting as society to try to get a grip with everything that's happening. And I know that many of you say, COVID's not real, 99% survival rate. I see all the comments, and I would say this to you. You may not feel that COVID's not real, but a lack of hospital beds are. So let me just give you this very interesting scenario. Disneyland is fully open tomorrow. You go to the park, you have a great time, but accidents happen and you break your ankle at the resort, or even worse, on the way home from a long day of ripping the park and feeling the magic. You maybe doze off and drift into the other lane on the 5 on the way back home. You get into a brutal car wreck. You have 3 kids in the back seat. If there's no hospital beds for those children that you love so much, where are they gonna go? Coronavirus may not be attacking everybody, but people are still having heart attacks. People are still having accidents. And that's why we're in a bad spot, because this virus is flooding out the hospital system, taking up all those slots, as it takes some people much longer than others to recover. Yes, I know that's hard to believe. We're not all exactly the same, and therefore there's no space for you. Oh man, that felt good. So I'm here to say that opening Disneyland is months away, and them opening it up for shopping, if they do that, I will be shocked, and I'll be the first one to say, that's not a cool move. Trying to lure people out for profit during a pandemic is not a good look. It's not a good move, and Disney knows that. I mean, remember when we started out this video series, we were talking about how a lot of the theme parks, they had their organization, they were going to fight this. The fighting's kind of fallen away. We're not hearing so much about that beat of the drum because it actually looks like that right now, this might be a smart thing to do. So as we try to look forward to brighter days ahead of us, I do feel that those brighter days are going to come. This isn't all bad news. It seems that finally we're buckling down and doing what we have to do. And I know for those of you that say, but what about Florida? Florida's open. Yeah, Florida is open. It's a different state. It's in a different environment. It's a whole different thing. And quite honestly, I'm pretty let down in America and doing 50 different choose your own adventures. But what I will say this on the Florida argument is this: California and Florida each have roughly a little over 20,000 deaths due to COVID. Now you may say it's no more than the flu and people are going to die, and that's up to you. But to me, 20,000 people is a shocking number. And 20,000 people in California versus 20,000 people in Florida is an interesting number because we have twice as many citizens as Florida does. They're a state of around 20 million. We're a state of nearly 40 million. So let me ask you this. By California being strict, have we saved 20,000 other lives? Which ballpark 20,000 people? That's roughly how many people move through Rise of the Resistance on a fully operational day, which is rare. Hopefully this downtime they've learned to fix that. That'd be too much. But what I'm saying is this: imagine being at the park and everybody that got excited that they got a boarding pass, that person vanishes. That person disappears. Imagine all of the people that flood in to ride Rise of the Resistance are no longer with us. That is the difference between California and Florida. 20,000 different people. So yes, there are some brightness at the end of the tunnel. We have the COVID-19 vaccines that are now being distributed in our state, which is slowly going to work its way to the regular folks like us. We have a new administration that, say what you will, I don't care who you vote for, that's not what this is all about, but they are taking this aggressive, they're taking COVID-19, they're building a task force. I mean, they haven't done anything yet, but everything that they're doing looks like they're being more aggressive. And for that, regardless of your vote, you just gotta hope that as a country, we can get ahead of this thing and slowly try to get our lives back to normal. And it feels like some of that foundation is being built right now. So friends, even though that this is a dark episode, I do feel that there's light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like we're months away from some sort of normalcy. I feel like spring is still a great time to plan on getting back to the Disneyland Resort. I can see a little bit of light on the tunnel on the right. But just don't ever go into Disneyland on the tunnel on the left. That's the one you exit from. But we're in this moment, and I do believe that adjusting your outlook helps make it all so much more passable. Even though there's a lot of things right now we can't control as individuals, the one thing we can control is our positivity, our optimism, but most importantly, our expectations. So I didn't want to make one of these videos, but when I started to see people say, hey, Disneyland might open, I just wanted to say, I'm reading the news, I'm watching these press conferences, it's not fun, and I do believe that this is something that feels very, very false, very far away from being. And if I have to be the one to give it to you straight, then that's my pride. And I also want to say, I don't want the virus or these videos to be political. I'm just simply looking at what's happening in the world and just seeing that there are steps that are being made to be very aggressive about taking on coronavirus. Because at the end of the day, I really don't care who you vote for. I believe in your right to vote for whoever you want. Whatever your parties or your affiliations are, that's completely up to you. But what I want is to see you with me back in Disneyland. I want life to be normal. So I'm literally just going through the world right now, just trying to figure out what gets me back to normal. Who is doing the responsible thing? Who gets us back to those golden old days of 2019? I apologize if this video has been a little preachy. I try to keep these in sort of a tight box, but interesting times. And I really just want to break this down. Without hospital beds, without a way to take care of each other, none of us can have any of the things that we want, because all of us are one slight innocent accident away from being in a horrible, horrible situation. So sure, we want to get back to Disneyland, we want to get back to having fun, but fun sometimes can lead to just letting your guard down, and letting your guard down can lead to bad things happening. Bad things can lead to going to the hospital, and without room for you in the hospital, a little minor thing back in the old days of 2019 could be a major catastrophe for you or one of your loved ones right now. So regardless of what you think about the virus, and I won't even get into talking about that right now, I'll just say this: you have to believe in hospitals, you have to believe in science, and you also have to believe accidents do happen. And I've never been a person that's lived my life afraid of accidents. Like, I'm pretty brave, pretty resilient, pretty fearless. But I am afraid at this moment because I'm one car crash away from being in a horrible situation that wouldn't have been that bad just 1 year ago. So for anyone to spread a rumor or false positivity or hope, because when you talk about Disneyland, it's like, well, if you say anything negative, you're going against the magic. Look, I believe in the magic is real, but no hospital beds is also real. And I believe that I can love this thing, still be positive, and just say, hey, right now is a time we have to all kind of pull back a little bit on life and do the right thing so we can get through this together. And I really don't see what's wrong with acknowledging this moment that we're in and hoping for a better tomorrow, and also trying to be someone that is spreading information that will help people mentally get adjusted that, hey, it's okay. We're going to get back to those good old times. It's just going to take us a minute to get there. And to make that happen faster, we need to work together. So I believe in positivity. I believe in a bright and beautiful PMA. That's a positive mental attitude. Have it tattooed on my arm for what that's worth. But I believe that you can love Disneyland, you can love the magic, and you can also love science. You can treat this moment we're in with the severity that it deserves. So the main reason why I wanted to make this video today was to simply just explain how this situation we're in right now, it's not going away anytime fast, and to expect bigger and brighter things to somehow be happening in the next couple of weeks. I don't see it. I will be shocked if it does go that way. In fact, I'll be less shocked if things get a little bit worse before they get a whole lot better. That's just the mindset right now. But I do think that it is wrong to spread these rumors or to give people that hope, because back in October, so many people were just getting crushed because they thought that any day now, the park's going to open. And I had people that were following me on every part of the internet telling me, hey, you're wrong. It's going to reopen. And I take no pride in being right, but it's not that hard to be right if you just follow the information that is coming out through our elected officials, through those that are in charge. Like them or not, they're in charge, you're not. So you can fight it and just burn all your energy. And hey, friend, do me a favor, comment on the video here. Let me know, are you seeing the science the way that I'm seeing it? Are you seeing a ray of hope that I haven't been able to sort of find here? And are you cool with this? Do you think now is a proper time to just stay at home, let the storm pass, and know that brighter days aren't too far away from us? Please give this video a like, and I appreciate everybody who watches these videos. I really do. I don't necessarily enjoy making them. Seeing a lot of your comments and letting me know that you appreciate a level-headed approach to all of this, it has made me want to make more of these. And for the woman that said, don't you ever cover anything positive? I put out tons of videos that are about the positivity of Disneyland and how much I love the resort. But guess what? You don't click on those because people love bad news. I put out a video last week breaking down the best balconies of Buena Vista Street and what it must be like to live there. Goose egg. Nobody watched it. Nobody cared. So, yeah, lady, my question to you is, are you clicking on positive videos? Because they're out there. You just have to dig to find them because Google doesn't recommend them. All right, friends, until the next time I see you in a crowded and busy Disneyland where we can both eat and drink, I'll see you back here on the channel with more Disneyland news. Wear a mask, and remember, fun fact, your nose is part of your face.